Out in the Iraqi desert, there's a single colossal arch. It's just standing there against the sky, all alone. It's a magnificent ruin, right? The last piece of a puzzle that's been almost completely wiped out by time. But man, does it have an incredible story to tell.
Okay, so what you're looking at is the Taq Kasra. This thing is one of the largest single-span brick arches ever. I mean, think about that. For hundreds of years, it was part of this huge, grand palace. And now it's just this, standing alone, and it just makes you ask one incredible question. How did one of history's largest arches end up just stranded in the middle of the desert? Well, to answer that, we've got to dig into the story of the ghost city it used to belong to. And this wasn't just any city. We're talking about a place that was, for a while, the biggest city in the entire world. So, let's dive in. First things first, we got to put a name to this lost metropolis, right? This incredible arch is the very last thing left of a city called Ctesiphon.
So where was this place? Well, you'd find it on the banks of the Tigris River, about 35 kilometers, that's roughly 22 miles, southeast of where Baghdad is today. I mean, talk about prime real estate. Ctesiphon was perfectly positioned right at the crossroads of ancient trade and power.
And I really want to stress this. This wasn't just any city. No way. For more than 800 years, Ctesiphon was the royal capital for not one, but two of Persia's most powerful empires. It was a commercial giant, an absolute global powerhouse. Okay, so just how big are we talking? To really get a sense of what was lost, you have to try and wrap your head around the sheer scale of this place at its peak. And honestly, it's kind of hard to believe.
Get this, the city and all its surrounding settlements covered a staggering 30 square kilometers. But, what does a number like that even mean? It's just a number, right? Well, let's put it in perspective. At its absolute height, Ctesiphon was more than twice the size of imperial Rome. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Twice the size of Rome. So in the late 6th and early 7th centuries, Ctesiphon wasn't just big, it was considered the largest city in the world. For that moment in history, this was the biggest, most vibrant city on the entire planet, full stop. It was so huge, in fact, that it was known in Arabic as Al-Madayan, which literally translates to the cities, plural, because it was like a fusion of multiple settlements all rolled into one. And it was a true melting pot. You had Aramaeans, Persians, Greeks, Assyrians, you name it. It was this incredible center for all kinds of religions too. Zoroastrianism, Christianity, Judaism, Manichaeism, all coexisting. And this incredible run wasn't just some flash in the pan. We're talking about a city that was a capital for nearly 8 centuries. Its political dominance was incredibly long-lived.
So, let's look at the timeline. It was founded way back around 1200 BC. By about 58 BC, it's the Parthian capital. Then in 226 AD, it becomes the capital for the mighty Sasanian Empire. It just keeps going, witnessing the rise and fall of dynasties until it's finally conquered in 637 AD. And you don't have to take my word for it. Even ancient writers knew what was up. The Greek geographer Strabo wrote, and I'm quoting here, "Because of the Parthian power, therefore, Ctesiphon is a city rather than a village. Its size is such that it lodges a great number of people." So even back then, people knew this was the real deal.
But here's the thing. When you're that rich and that powerful, you're going to make some enemies. And Ctesiphon's greatest rival was the other superpower of the day, just to the west, the Roman Empire. Ctesiphone's wealth and its just perfect strategic location made it the ultimate target for Rome. For centuries, this city was the grand prize in the long, bloody wars between the Persian and Roman empires. Simple as that. If you held Ctesiphon, you controlled the gateway to the east.
And man, this city went through it. It was captured and recaptured in this relentless cycle of violence. Emperor Trajan captures it in 116 AD. A year later, Emperor Hadrian basically gives it back to try and keep the peace. Then, in 164, General Avidius Cassius captures it again. And then, in 197, Emperor Septimius Severus doesn't just capture it, he sacks it brutally and sells thousands of people into slavery. Ctesiphon was just this tragic prize in a war that lasted for centuries.
So, what happened? What finally brought this giant of a city to its knees? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was this cascade of disasters, one after another, that led to it completely vanishing. Okay, so here's how it went down. First, a devastating plague hits in 628 AD.
At the exact same time, the Sasanian Empire is just tearing itself apart with civil wars and internal conflict. So they're weakened, they're reeling, and that's when they're defeated by the rising Arab forces at the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah. In 637 AD, Ctesiphon is conquered for the very last time. But that wasn't even the final blow. The real nail in the coffin came in the 760s, when the new rulers, the Abbasid Caliphate, decided to build a brand new capital just a little ways up the river. And that new capital was Baghdad.
And just like that, Ctesiphon was obsolete. Its time was over. It became a ghost town, and then something even worse. It became a quarry. People literally cannibalized the city. Its magnificent buildings were systematically taken apart, brick by brick, to go build the new city of Baghdad.
Which brings us back to our arch. Even the Taq Kasra, the one piece that was maybe just too big to easily tear down and move, hasn't escaped time. I mean, if you look at a drawing of it from 1864 and compare it to a photo from today, you can see a huge chunk of the facade is just collapsed. It's an incredibly fragile survivor.
And when you see a person standing next to it, that's when the scale really hits you. That's when you can truly appreciate the monumental grandeur of what was lost here. Remember, this single massive arch was just one part of one palace in a city that covered 30 square kilometers. It's just mind-boggling. So, you see, the arch isn't just a ruin. It's so much more than that. It's a survivor. It's the final echo of an entire lost world. It's a testament to a city that, for its time, was once the greatest on Earth.
And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When all is said and done, when the dust settles on our own civilization, what stories will our great cities leave behind? What single, solitary ruin will be left standing to tell our story?